Welcome to the astrology report for the week of September the 29th to October the 5th. And this is an interesting time because Mercury and Jupiter are forming a square energy all week long. You're feeling it as soon as we step into Monday. It's kind of finishing up by Saturday. And we're in the thick of an energy that can be very positive and also very over the top. Jupiter blows up, expands whatever he touches. The poor guy, he's going to make it larger than life. And he's in the sign of Cancer, where Mercury's trending through the sign of Libra. So obviously the Libra-Cancer axis, which is water and air, is going to swell with news, with information, with stories. If you think about larger than life stories to do with water, for example, Jupiter's in a watery sign of Cancer, we might see some storm stories, big storms this week, literally in our world connected to water bodies like hurricanes, things like that. But in our own lives, the energy is going to be a different matter. And I want to talk about how you, based on your sun, moon, or rising sign, can work with this energy and what you can use it for and what you might be careful about using it for. Because there's always an over delivery and over promising energy with an exalted planet, Jupiter on steroids, so to speak, and Mercury trying to take the orders. It reminds me of like Jupiter's in a restaurant and he's taking, he's looking at the menu and he's telling the waiter, which is Mercury, taking the notes in Libra, I want, 4 bottles of Dom Perignon. I want 8 plates of caviar. I want 10 duck confit or whatever. And it's just all over the top. And then all that stuff shows up and Jupiter's like, I'm full, I can't keep going. So there's a cautionary note about inflationary over the top speech, Mercury, or ideas or promises that we just can't really hold to individually and collectively. The other thing I would say about this energy playing out entirely during the week is a bit of seek and find, like seek and ye shall find, that very old biblical phrase coming from an exalted Jupiter being like the good spiritual energy, over the top, and Mercury kind of saying, hey, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for some divine enlightenment. I'm looking for more money. I'm looking for whatever. And there could be the seek and find within that energetic of a fairy godfather taking, listening to Mercury's requests and giving them to us. So we'll see how that looks. Today's video is not going to be super long, but it is going to be important because when we think about Jupiter and Mercury in what we call a square, this is called your opening square. And it's because there was a conjunction, a union of Jupiter and Mercury before this. And that happened back on, I wrote it down, that happened back on June the 8th, and it happened to be at 29 degrees of the sign of Gemini. And in fact, if you go even further back to June 4th of 2024, Mercury joined with Jupiter also in Gemini. And so there's a energy going on as Jupiter has now finished Gemini, but the seeds for what this opening square, think of it like a testing 1-2, an opening act, a 4-act structure. This opening square is giving us a chance to fulfill with a little bit of effort, something we planted in Gemini, some seed we planted in our whole sign house that is Gemini in our chart, based on our sun, moon, or rising. So, for example, if you happen to be a Sag rising, then your marriage house is Gemini. And what seeds have you been planting there for relationship and longer term connection back in June of 24? And then it kind of wore out and it was done. And then June of 2025, you reseeded another prospect here as well. This is an example. I'll be going through your sign and sharing it with you. Obviously, if you're a Cancer or a Libra, or a Gemini, those 3 in particular are very activated by the sky this week. Finally, this energy of the Jupiter conjunction union with Mercury back on June the 8th, 2025 will be complete in no longer a relevant story, as this will form an opposition and a closing square, but it will close the story down in Leo in August of 2026. So what I'm going to say about this is something was planted in June of 25. This would have been on June the 8th. At 29 Gemini, and it will finish up or close up and no longer be a thing by August of 2026. I'm going to show you an image. And the reason I'm doing this, and I'm a teaching astrologer. I just had a great class this morning with my Sky Reader people. I'm having the weirdest things where I'm having trouble sharing on my Zoom. Now, I've done so many videos with you guys where I can share, and now all of a sudden everything is weird. I don't think I'm sharing that at all. I have never had my Zoom do this to me where it's not sharing the screens properly. Okay, I'm on my desktop, which is a hot mess because my desktop is a mess. What am I sharing? Like, I can't tell that I'm sharing anything with you. And I had to get through this mess with my class this morning as well. Share all application windows. I mean, I just want to share my desktop. Did that work? Can you see that? I don't think that's sharing either. Yeah, yeah. This is crazy. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to try to fix this thing. I'm going to go pause and see if I can go to the back end of my Zoom and tell Zoom to get its act together. So it says that I'm sharing with you guys, but I see my face here. I don't see that I'm sharing, which is really annoying. It's like they've changed the format. So I can't tell if I'm annotating in a way that you can see, but I think I am. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Did I update my Zoom to some really stupid system where it makes it really weird and I can't tell what I'm doing? I think so. Anyway, this is what I want you to look at. This is a basic me taking a screenshot and make it a little bit bigger for you. And there we go. I hope that's sharing. And this is what I want you to know. This is the synodic cycle. That's why I'm sharing this with you. I want you to see that this is how a planet comes together and connects with another planet. And you'll notice that this is what works. This is what is going on in the sky. And so how we look at it is these are stories unfolding over time, like January and February and March. January, February, and March of 2021. You can see, of course, that we ended up in a situation where we had Aquarius with Jupiter and Mercury co-joining together. That was a big time for us Aquarians. I'm one of you. That's when I really got my astrology business rocking and rolling, Jupiter and Mercury in my sign. And you'll notice again that we had a dip for Pisces in like March of 21 that ended by March of 28. And then Aries got the baton passed by Jupiter and Mercury for a story that went from March of 2023 to June of 24. And then in June of 24, we went into the Geminis, getting all of the action, which basically you can also say the air signs are getting a lot of love from this. And then next summer, we go into Leo. And so all the Leos get a lot of impact. And then, of course, summer of 19 to summer of 28 is time for the Virgos to have some action. This is connected to Jupiter moving through the signs, right? Jupiter was in Aquarius, and he was in Pisces, and he was in Aries, and he was in Gemini. Then he was in Leo. He was also, of course, in Taurus, but Mercury, because of retrogradation, didn't happen to connect with him during that cycle. So keep that in mind. I want to just remind you of the synodic cycle, and this thing that's happening now is a part of it. Now, I'm going to share the actual chart. No, I don't want to share that. So, share this window. I'm supposedly sharing this application called My Astrology Chart, and it looks so different than it ever looked before. Okay, I'm just going to roll with it. So here we have this sky for the week ahead, and we're going to start noticing that as we go into the week, and I'm going to take us back so you can see that we're going to hit Monday, September the 29th, and we'll see Mercury at 19 degrees of Libra. And we'll see Jupiter at 22 degrees of his exaltation of Cancer. And the energy between them is called a square. I'm not so worried when a square is connected to Jupiter at all in a real way. I'm not that worried about it. But remember, the seeds were planted in Gemini. Larger than life storms may happen between Mercury, especially with the trine to Mars. And Jupiter. So look for large water stories coming up this week. All my world astrology is now placed over on Substack and my Pluto Chronicles newsletter that you can subscribe to for free. And I've explained many times why this platform is not suitable for controversial topics, especially around politics and world events. So the other thing I want to mention about this story, as we go through your sign, we'll get to that in a minute, is that Mercury will be exactly in the square to Jupiter on Wednesday, and then he'll be waning by Saturday. So you can call it like hit the target bullseye or the epicenter. The major energy is really active on Wednesday, which is Mercury's day, right? Mercury is like lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, the French language. I mean, it's like same with Spanish. You can hear the planets' names in the days, right? Monday is Moon Day. Tuesday is Mars's day. Wednesday is Mercury's day. And so there's something about that I find very evocative, that Mercury will be in a perfect Jupiter square on his day, Mercury's day. We might have a really big news story hitting the airwaves as we watch Mercury trundle along. And here we are on Wednesday, 22 and 22. Now, if you do degree space theory by Nikolai Stavanovich, or so, I always say his name wrong. He's passed away. He called this the kill or be killed degree. Okay. And it's supposed to be a malefic degree. And on top of that, when there was a strong activation of that degree as well during the situation with C. Kirk, right? So I'm not going to go into that right now. So the energies here may be a very difficult day also in the news cycle, given that if that degree can be as difficult as suggested, and we may see some difficult news stories emerging as well. But all that said and done, we also, during the time of the connection between these planets, are engaging a moon in the sign of her detriment. This is a moon not happy, in cold and barren, distant and chilly lands that Saturn loves, far from the sun. This is not the moon's happy place. So the moon is in detriment or exile. So we have a moon in bad shape as well. Now the moon will only be in that condition Wednesday, and by the time the day continues, we'll move out of Capricorn when it depends on where you live. Wednesday at around 2 p.m, Vancouver, Canada, the moon will have 132 moved into Aquarius. But just note that as the ingress, as the square is more tightening up, as it's getting more intense, we're seeing the moon out of condition in bad shape. And so if you were doing world astrology, which I'm trying not to do here, you would ask yourself, where are Capricorn placements? Like Taiwan has a Capricorn sun, right? The land that belongs to the nation of IHOP in the Middle East, the one that is in trouble with the United Nations and the ICC, the nation of IHOP, the very actively aggressive land grabbing one, and that nation has the land that it should own, wants to own, that it considers its land that belongs to them, homeland, the fourth house, which is Capricorn, for the Libra rising nation of IHOP. And so you can definitely see that that's going to look like a moon in detriment. The Mercury is exactly on the rising place, the ascendant of Israel. Oops, I said the country's name. Try not to do that here. And this is squaring Jupiter, the moral sheriff, the high moral justice, and all of that. Jupiter is in the 10th house for that nation of its leadership, like its executive branch. So that is going to be a difficult day, more likely than not, with something going on to do with the wounds of war in the nation of I. So keep your eye on the ball for that. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's so much bad news out there right now. You can't figure out what it could be. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not something like the arrest warrant gets issued or something. No one drags the prime minister of that country away in New York. All right, something like that. I don't know what it is. I really don't, but just news cycles can be rather challenging at this time. On the other hand, from Renn Butler's The Archetypal Universe, I would be remiss if I didn't share some of his incredible content. This is a beautiful book. I've had it for years, and it really helps you kind of pair planetary energies together and say, well, what does it mean when Mercury, the messenger of the gods, is hanging with King Jupiter in his highest exaltation? Well, what does it mean when the two planets hang together as a principle? And I'm going to share that with you. By the way, Renn is teaching his 6-month-long archetypal astrology course beginning in early October. And if you get a whole of this video and you reach out to him, I'll put a link to his website in my description box and say Lori sent you. He's going to give you a non-public discount code that doesn't exist anywhere else, and it's better than anything else you can get to do 6 months of archetypal universe astrology. I studied with him in 2020. I didn't miss a class. I was so hooked. It was a game changer. I found out how I'm dreaming the sky, or is the sky dreaming me? I found out about the outer planets in my birth matrix. I found out about the energies of the archetypal world, where planets meet and merge their energies together in my chart and in world events. And it's so much fun. It's a fun class. He's a great teacher. 6 months. It's a commitment, but it's worth it. And so there you go. Go check it out below. I always help other astrologers because, we need more of us out there. Mercury, Jupiter. So a broad and expansive mind, wide ranging interests, curious, positive, and optimistic outlook, and a gift for planning and negotiating, well-timed buying and selling, Okay, you traders out there, but it's a square, which can be tension and can bring difficulties as well. So in the darker or the shadow side, we might see over optimism, arrogance, boastful speech, exaggeration, overstatement, taking on or promising more than one can deliver. Doesn't that sound like a certain number of politicians we know? So that is one of the things to think about as we get into this energy. Yeah. And then he does mention a little bit about, overconfidence and exaggeration and long-winded answers and overstatements and stuff. And then he also talks about the seek and ye shall find energy that's embodied within this. Jupiter can be like the guru, the good teacher, the good spiritual energy. And Mercury is comedic. He makes us laugh. And so you could have an amplification of feeling good from things that make you laugh during this transit as well. I would invite that in if you can. But regarding the amplification, like the overabundant, like expanding energy that a square / Jupiter can bring here in our life, I'd say being overconfident about what one can actually achieve, promising more than you can deliver, is going to be a challenge this week. So we'll have to be careful for that. On the upside, Jupiter is luck. He's exalted. Mercury is news, although I would call this lucky news that one must take action on, from seeds planted in Gemini that are manifesting through the Cancer and Libra sky. Let's go ahead and do all signs. I believe I know what I'm doing on the share now that it's completely changed. Share this window. Okay. Apparently I'm sharing. Let's go ahead and we're going to start with Aries, and we're going to draw a card from the Crow deck. Why the Crow deck? By Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. Because we're doing this deck because crows make noise, and Mercury is the speaker, the communicator, the messenger, the postman. We're having a postal strike in Canada right now. That's the postman energy of Mercury squaring Jupiter, the boss called the government, and the legal structures around our postal system, right? That's the oracle for everybody. Crows make noise. Don't forget, if you're new here, like and subscribe. My Sky Reader class already started. You can always join me next year. So by the time you get this, we are into our first week. And the only other thing I'll share is please check me out at the Pluto Chronicles. That's where I'm loving writing a lot of content, and it's free. So let's go to Aries. And in order to get the Aries guys up, we need to just go back a little bit here. So give me a minute. Aries. Caw, caw, caw. Sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm one of you. I have a sun and a moon here, plus a Mercury. I'm all Aries'd up. So, Jupiter back in, June of 24, and then yet again in June of 2025, reset a button with Lord Jupiter in Gemini. Downside is that poor old Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini, but Mercury is in his home kingdom in Gemini. So Mercury had the upper hand in how this reset was trying to go through your third house of writing, communicating, marketing, selling, teaching, skills-based learning and teaching, short distance traveling, sibling, one younger, siblings in general, cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces and nephews, neighbors, and childhood friends, to name a few. This everyday life, the places you go, the people you see, that's a big part of the third house. It's also today our media house. It's like magazines, newspapers, and now it's our social media house. And therefore, did you plant some new seeds that you wanted to grow big? You wanted to expand? You wanted to puff up with Jupiter's luck? Did you plant that seed at all? Okay, back in June of 24 and then June of 2025. So I planted my seed of my Substack. That was what I did, a writing house. So what seeds did you plant that you wanted to grow big? Grow big or go home. Go big or go home. And that's for a lot of us. We were working on new seeds in this part of our sky. And also this is a neighborhood. And sometimes we move when Jupiter comes into contact with Mercury in this kind of a sky, sign a new contract for a new home or something like that. I changed my neighborhood under this energy as well. So literally, This is very accurate. But then that seed that wants to fulfill itself, which closes shop next August, as the next conjunction will be in Leo, this is going to also test us this week, Monday through to Saturday, feeling that energy exactly on Wednesday. You're being tested by legal commitments and agreements, or verbal ones, in Libra. What have you made an agreement to or with or whatever? And there's Jupiter testing the agreement from the fourth house of home, property, land, and real estate. Some of you might want to break a lease. You might want to break a deal or a contract you made around property, land, and real estate. Could be that simple. Also, there's some kind of a prosperous swelling of goodness and expansion and good growth and luck coming from your home life, your private life, what you do in your home by yourself or with others. This is like large and big growth energy. And there's this tension with some kind of communication that could come from a significant other. This can be your marriage partner, and they might be having a difficult time with something that they're wanting to communicate to you that's both positive, Jupiter, Mercury, but also has an edge to it. It's got some urgency. Like, hey, honey, I got a job, but we're going to have to move to Alaska. And that's got a tension there as well. So something with your marriage partner, something to do with where you live, some kind of information or news starting to flow. With that conjunction in Gemini, some of you might be looking at traveling to a new place to live under this kind of sky and getting information of where you might want to go to through this sky ahead, getting an idea of where a move might be. Don't have to move during this week by any means. In fact, you've got until next August for this whole thing to maybe change your neighborhood if you're going to do that. When I said I moved from the June 24 to the June 25 cycle. So I could be moving again. Now, one last thing I want to say about it. Truly, because Mercury is in the seventh house, some information, email, phone call, text, or something from some other person can look like a golden opportunity for business success. However, because the sun is there as well, ruling your entrepreneurial fifth house. But there is something about it that demands you have to tackle it. You have to go for it. There's like an urgent decision or action or turning point energy to a square. And so keep your eyes on that ball too. It may also be some business opportunity coming from some other person, an offer or an opportunity. And how are you going to act on it or not? Because whatever you're doing during this opening square will fold out over different phases of the next year through till next August. This is the first phase of opening up, like the flower that's blossoming. Oh, let's grab a card from the crows for you. Yes, let's do it. Caw, caw, caw. I forgot to put my necklace on. I usually wear my little lunatic necklace with a little crescent moon. Okay, here we go. For those of you in my Sky Reader class today, we had a blast. Thank you for coming to class. But this is my time of year where I'm teaching. So sometimes I get around to doing my YouTube content, like seriously, at the last minute. Ooh, a last minute recording. Protection. There's a crow with protection. Now, Jupiter is a protector. I didn't say that. And he's in the land of where you live, home, your neighborhood, your home, your house, your domicile. So there's a protection energy for sure when Jupiter's there. I mean, you can be protected from, like, I hate to say, like an earthquake happens and your house is standing, you know what I mean? You'll be protected no matter what, in the domicile, in the home, from any hardship. Here we go. Crows are fiercely protective of things they cherish. When I created this card, I wanted to feel at that moment what I wanted to feel at the moment was protected. With everything going on in the world, knowing there is something greater out there watching over us creates space for peace. Wow, I like that one. It is when we feel at ease that we can create, we can grow. Hold this card when you need to feel at one with your higher self and divine spirit. As together, Aries, they are offering protection. Use this card as a sign to move forward, knowing you are protected. Lean into its energy during times of stress or when you're feeling vulnerable. Doing so will allow you to shift your focus away from fear and restriction to feeling confident to take action. All right. You are protected because the intimacy of your home, your private life, your private time, Jupiter protects you. Like as a public figure, sort of like I'm always thinking, what about a troll? What about a stalker, right? Coming off of my YouTube. And, honestly, that is a protection. Jupiter is protective in that regard. Just saying, life is life. Things like this happen. Is my mic even plugged in? I think it is. Shite. Yes, it is. Okay, moving on. Then we are going to move into the sign of Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, the bull. And, the whole Monday through Friday and into Saturday, but epicenter Wednesday, Jupiter, larger than life, is here in your third house. And he's talking with Mercury in an intense conversation in the sixth house. Before I talk about this week ahead, let me remind you, you planted new financial seeds with Jupiter, the god of luck and expansion and growth and wealth, with Mercury, the god of commercial success, marketing and selling, but also deals and agreements. And so as you planted that seed back in June of 24, by June of 2025, some of you saw some changes in your financial situation. If it didn't feel good, like you're like, oh, what's she talking about? Jupiter gives you what you need, not always what you want. Now, another seed has been planted here from June 8th through till next August, mid-August, to take it a level further, another level of height to this financial story. So Jupiter will do his best to give you the price on the money front, and Mercury will help negotiate it or, get it into motion through communication, marketing, selling, writing, deal making. All right. So that's this backdrop story. And then here's what we have next. As this is an opening square, like it's the first testing phase this week of this newfound wealth that you're trying to create or possessions that increase or whatever, then your new job even, or new earning source, then what you're going to notice is that thing is opening up from your third house of short distance travel, skills-based teaching or learning, social media and online, and childhood friends and siblings, extended family, cousins, aunts, and uncles, all the whole crew, supporting the possibility of this increase of financial wellness, but also connected very much, to Mercury in your sixth house. And your sixth house is your work house. It's an Artha house. It's your job. It's how you're getting money by having some kind of livelihood. And I would say that there's something good happening for you this week, but it requires urgent decisions and actions because it's a square. It's testing you maybe. It could be an opportunity that feels almost too good to be true. Or it's an opportunity financially connected to work that you're not sure you really want, but it feels good to get that extra money. So pay attention to that. And possibly there may be some positive news about a health challenge, like that's coming to a turning point from some Jupiter in the third house person, a local practitioner of wellness practices or something, and some turning point in your wellness. Mercury sometimes in the sixth house is getting the blood work back, or the somethingograms, whatever, echocardiogram results back. It should be good. Jupiter's blessing your house of health. By looking at it and witnessing Mercury's news. So I'm going to say it should be pretty darn good. Mercury is also with the sun ruling the fourth house. And maybe there's some news about a home, a change of home to a new area, a rental property, especially within your neighborhood or city. For some of you, that could open up as opportunities or information or news in this week ahead. And you need to decide about what you want to do. Squares make you decide things. All righty. Finally, there's a small possibility of a pet from this one coming in, like a decision to acquire an animal and possibly a rescue, not necessarily, but it could be with Jupiter being the charitable one. And the house of pets is highly activated, and the sun rules the house of the home. So there may be an opportunity for a pet, maybe a rescue, maybe a charitable source of a pet, but marketing and selling too, right? And Jupiter may say, hey, you want to buy this pet, from this breeder, and you guys sign up. It doesn't mean you get the pet right away either. It could be you're negotiating a deal with a breeder, and often they come to you after the baby's born, several months later, and they say, we got your puppy, it's been bred. So that kind of thing can be happening for some of you as well. Now, the last thing I want to say about this is definitely Some of you could have some lucky opportunities coming to you for work, but it is connected to like third house matters. It would be working at a local establishment, right? Not like a digital nomad, most likely looking. So like if you work in a local environment, like you have a real office you go to, then this could be a really nice touch for some exciting developments for you, or a golden opportunity for travel connected to work as well. I'm sorry about that. Let's go ahead. Draw a card. Okay, guys, here we go. I got a card for you. I'm just looking at my big screen. And you know, one thing about cards, they stick together. So I'm getting a lot of sticky cards together. Release. This is a new deck. That's why it's sticky. Release. And we have a crow surrounded by stones, and we have birds flying into the air. Release. Now, what is it you're going to release? There you go. Let's take a look at it. Now, we'll see if we can tie this into the astrology in a meaningful way, which I'm always trying to do, right? So Jupiter's protection, luck, expansion, and growth, right? So that's the good thing. But you could release a home. You could release an animal. You could release a relationship to a sibling or aunt, uncle, cousin, or neighborhood itself. When the time comes when you cannot grieve anymore and it's time to let go, it is time to let go. Release is the next step. The card can come to you when you need help moving forward. Oh, I also add something for you guys. The place where the seed was set for the new money, possessions, and earnings in Gemini is also the house of what you put in your mouth, okay, or inhale through your nose. It's a face, and it's your food style. So some of you might have to release anything from an addiction, right? Because it goes in this way, or like, you know, I have to quit gluten. I love bread. So keep that in mind too. It's time to move on, rise up, release yourself from the past. Release represents the transition between letting go and moving on, and soaring, if I would add that, and moving on. It is the moment when we become aware we can no longer hold on to the past or an event that cannot be altered. You may need to consider if your situation is blocked or impacted by something that needs to be released. So what is the need to release something in order for Jupiter's wealth, protection, and goodness to come to you? Now, here we have the next sign, and that's going to be Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. I have a progressed sun in Gemini. I relate, but remember, your progressed placements are not as powerful as your regular natal sky stories. One, you reset a button. Oh, yes, you did. June of 2024. And then you hit that reset button again in June of 2025 as Jupiter and Mercury meshed forces in your first house of identity. If you're listening for your rising sign, it is definitely the house of your simulation character avatar in the matrix of life. Okay. But that character has a reset button. Gemini sun, it may involve matters for you guys to do with your career and purpose. And for Gemini moon, your home life and your emotions. And so in this regard, there has been 2 reset buttons. And even though Jupiter's out of dignity, Mercury, the Lord of your sign, is in his home kingdom in Gemini, and he's got his hand on this thing. So it's meant to be good for you. End of story. Nothing bad about this. This guy shows an increase of prosperity and wealth. This is Monday through until the weekend. Opportunities for money are coming for you as well. Jupiter is bringing luck, protection, Hail Mary passes, opportunities regarding financial gain and increase. Sometimes you don't get the money, you get the opportunity when Jupiter goes through the second house. And next year in the third house, when you get to next summer and you add a year, you get the gain. So these seeds are being planted for more wealth, more opportunity to increase your prosperity. And as Jupiter is doing that this week, Monday through to Saturday, especially Wednesday, he squares Mercury in the house of good fortune. Now, I'm not going to promise you a rose garden, but you should play the lottery ticket, because lottery gains, gambling, speculative wins belong to the 5th house. Gambling, lotteries, winning. Mercury is the ticket. He's the piece of paper. He's the ballot, right? The ballot box, a ticket that you have to scan. This is your ticket master, and this is your bounty. And this is really exciting because some of you could win money. With the sun here, It has to likely be a local event. Like, I mean, going down to the 7-Eleven and getting a ticket. This is your local everyday neighborhood and environment. So I don't think it would be like you order a ticket abroad and, you expect that one to win. It's probably some local lottery or at least domestic lottery that you could win. So I know you guys know your limit, play within it. Please don't take an astrologer's advice for gambling of all things, but just know that it is a lucky week for money. But then the urgency of the square is demanding you make a decision and take some action and like grab the bull by the horns on whatever this is trying to become for you. If you're entrepreneurial opportunities emerge for greater financial success. If you're an artist, greater opportunities to be financially successful arise for the artist within you. And if you have children, then your children could get a golden opportunity, and it may be their story, right? Because Mercury's in the house of your kids, and they may be telling you about their golden financial opportunity. It may be a side story, not even connected to you. It could be a story about a child, even in this chart, a sibling. Okay, either sibling, one younger or two younger than you, golden opportunities in their life, financial goodness in their life, and you're just getting the wind of the news. That's all, right? You're hearing about it. And there may be a cost here because you can see that T-square building up, right? And, with the moon here on Tuesday, this is like Tuesday at evening before, I'm getting ready for bed kind of thing, and into the next morning, there's a vibe. So Tuesday into early Wednesday, there may be some sense of a cost to the opportunity. What an opportunity at what cost, Okay. Yeah, and a small chance this is somebody in a bequeathment setting with the South Node in the fourth house, Mercury ruling the Mercury in Venus's home, Venus fallen ruling the house of hospitals. Just a very few of you may be looking at the cost of the prosperity is a bequeathment cost, right? That's all I can say. That is a possibility, not a probability. Now we're going to draw a card and see what we get from our crows. This is the Urban Crow Oracle by MJ Cullinane. I always introduce the Oracle at the beginning. I know I haven't got my act together, built an Amazon store, don't have any merch. Okay. What's the message? What's the message for you guys? And see, excuse me. I need more room to spread these cards. You have to give me a sec. They're bunching up against my laptop and stuff. So give me a minute. All righty, let's get this set. I booked myself an hour-long, 75-minute foot massage today. Yes, I did, because I really had a terrible sleep last night. I kept waking up like every hour and a half. Did anybody else have a bad sleep on Friday night, the 26th, going into Saturday, the 27th, when I'm recording this? Because I don't know. I sleep so well. I'm never the person with a bad sleep. And if you sleep well and you don't sleep well, and you notice it, you think it's like an earthquake coming. No, you can't make this shit up. I know. Excuse my language. I did draw the luck card. Now, luck is what it is. Jupiter is lucky. He's going to luck you up. If he can do it, it's in your money and possessions and earnings and resources. At the same time, Mercury's in the winning money, winning good fortunes storyline. I'm just going to leave it at that. You've got some really good luck coming. It feels like good fortune financially emerging. And if it's not the actual fortune coming to you, then don't think of it that way. Think about the opportunity. It's so lucky, and it will derive greater financial fortunes, and you'll feel lucky as time goes on into next summer. When Jupiter next year in the summertime moves into your third house, and that amplifies. That's where you get the gains of all of his hard work in your second. People are like, Jupiter's in my second house, I got no money. I said, no, Jupiter's planting golden eggs that hatch a year later, okay, when he's in Leo, the next sign over in this case. All right, so let's get going and let's take a look at your sky, and we're going to talk about you guys. This is your Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign crew. And of course, you're feeling lucky because Jupiter's with you, protecting you. He's a protector. Protect your health, your mental health, protect your body, protector. Cancer Moon, protect your home and your emotions and your body. And Cancer Sun, career protector, protect your father. Cancer Moons, protect your mom. Cancer Rising, protect anything about your character in the simulation. You're under guidance, protection, generous and magnanimous Jupiter. And you can be more leaderful and more boldly larger than life should you choose that assignment. So in this regard, this week, Monday through to Saturday, we're going to take the seed planted here in your 12th house of things you do in solitude and all by yourself, backroom deals and negotiations, quiet time and solitude, bed pleasures. You planted a Jupiter Mercury seed here back in, June of 24, and then it expired on June of 25. The June of 2025 expires in August of next summer. So everything about this week is taking this thing a step further. Now, this is a far off lands and distant shores from where you currently live. And this could also open up an opportunity for a relocation for some of you as well. And so if you didn't relocate June of 24 to 25, then June of 25 to next August, you may do that. Now, that aside, here's the opening. You are lucky and magnanimous and blessed and fertile and maybe getting a bit chubby with this. And you are literally looking at Mercury delivering some news this week. And the news is coming from land, property, home, real estate matters. This is the 4th house. So keep that story in mind, especially if you've been thinking of moving, but this could also be a decision to renovate your home, to make it more opulent, more beautiful. The sun is here with Mercury, and the sun is a natural ruler of your possessions, your 2nd house, your financial situation, your resources financially. So in that regard, the Lord of the house of your resources hangs with Mercury, who's getting juiced up by Jupiter juice. You may have a golden opportunity that you need to make a decision on. It might require contracts, deals, legal contracts, and negotiations. Perhaps it's a little tough on Wednesday as you're coming into some problems with another person whose emotional set point isn't really working for you because you're full of optimism. They might be a Debbie Downer, raining on your excitement parade. So watch out for that on late Tuesday into Wednesday. But I do want to say that this has golden opportunity written all over it. And I do think it will be a financial one at that, with the energy of the sun ruling your 2nd house of earnings. Could be an opportunity that comes to you close to home, from somebody living in your home, from somebody from your childhood as well, offering up maybe an earnings opportunity with the sun ruling the earnings house. So let us take a peek at the cards and take a choice card for you. Mm-hmm. Now I'm having a hunger attack. Like, seriously, now I suddenly think I need to eat. Goodness gracious. It's because my brain was like completely, this is not surprising. Survival. Why is survival not surprising? Because you got to trust me on this. Jupiter is going to make you safe, for one thing. You're safe. Like, you can take a risk. But, the sun is sitting with Mercury, and the sun rules your house of survival. We always think of the 2nd house as just like what we eat and our money situation, but it's like your food, shelter, water, basic needs, pyramid, so that your body, ascendant character survives. The 2nd house feeds the 1st. And in this regard, you are going to be thinking about the idea of, what do I need for survival? Now I'm going to reframe that to thrival. Okay, I want you to move the word survive and go thrive. But the idea is, what do you need for all your basic needs and more? It's going to be something you're thinking about in the week ahead as this Mercury opportunity comes your way with Jupiter. So it just talks about the crow being trapped in a bush as a hungry fox patiently waits for a meal. When we are in survival mode, we are restricted. Cancers, we, like the crow, cannot fly. This card tells you calls your attention to how you are feeling about a situation. Are you hunkered down, waiting for the threat to be over, or are you moving and doing your best to find a path out? When we're in survival mode, our possibilities are limited by a creative mind solely focused on getting through a difficult situation. It is in this space that we are not thinking about future opportunities, golden opportunities with Jupiter. And the decisions we make are done to simply release any immediate pain. Because of this, we risk accepting a quick fix that limits our growth. So that's another thing I want to say. Watch out, because Mercury and Jupiter can be getting an opportunity that promises more than it can deliver. You could use the word quick fix. Jupiter's been traveling very quickly. He's at a very high speed of movement. And don't take a quick fix, but I also see opportunity for financial increase as well. So find the balance between what is a survival metric and what's a quick fix versus a true solution. To matters connected to probably your money and your sense of safety in the world. Moving into the Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising folk. Yeah, so go back, I've been telling everybody it's a Gemini story, really. Jupiter and Mercury came together here back in June of 2024, and then again in June of 25. So therefore, by next August, we're finished with a back-to-back year-plus long reset button for lucky golden opportunities connected to career profitability, favors from friends and people in high places, good things happening to your sibling one older or through them and benefiting you. And also a real nice blessing to really amplify your long-range goals and dreams for your life. Jupiter is in his joy in your 11th house. And there's a quality of wanting to fulfill a long-term plan or goal or wish for your life. And so these 2 years back to back are trying to bring that to you. All righty. Trying to bring it on. And as I said, there's people in that house. There's friends who benefit you. There's your elder sibling, one above you, who could also be very beneficial to you during this transit. My sister's my assistant for many of my stuff about my back end. She's getting paid by me and I'm her elder sibling benefiting her. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, she's a Leo sun. So now the thing I want you to notice that the opening square is here Monday through Saturday, epicenter most intense on Wednesday. Could be an opportunity coming from the 12th house that is about distant shores and people in foreign lands, gurus and teachers and ashrams and meditation centers. Those are kind of Jupiter back there. Or somebody who's rich in a hospital. And there's golden opportunities as that energy flows to Mercury in a square demanding a decision, an action be taken. And the third house is like, that is your text message. That is your email. That is the phone call. That is the most, all of those things. It's not like talking to someone in person usually. It's like, okay, all of those things are lit up this week ahead. Some important messages coming through some of these social media or online or digital technologies or modern day technologies, just your cell phone will do. And it's going to have a kind of feel to it. Like you're probably going to wonder, is it bigger than life? Is it true? Is it too good to be true? What do I do with it? I like this for travel opportunities. I like this for long distance and short distance travel opportunities. I also like this very much for you when it connects to matters to do with learning opportunities, getting accepted at a college, applying for a college or a university, or signing up for a course online and getting a golden ticket, a golden opportunity, a golden lucky break in some way. That's some things I can see happening under this energy. With the sun hanging with Mercury ruling Leo, which is you definitely have some luck in travel, writing, communicating, marketing, and selling, but all coming from that very, very powerful Jupiter in the 12th house. And another code for this, by the way, would be past life karma. It's coming back to roost in a good way, blessing you with these opportunities in this week ahead. Let's see what the card is from the crow deck. And I might need a chocolate break. Get a perspective. Okay. Crows are always getting a perspective. This crow's upside down. How's that for a perspective? Your mind and how you think, if you think, is your third house. The intellect part of that is Mercury. So pay attention, of course, to your thinkings, perceptions, and perspectives this week as well. 35. That's card number. And the card says, all right, Leo, crows really do hang upside down. The birds take this position to get at the food that would not be attainable otherwise. When you take a moment to stop, disengage, and open your mind to seeing the situation from a different perspective, you might realize there is more information available that will assist in ensuring the best course of action is taken by you. When perspective appears in your situation, you can benefit from slowing down and holding off on any significant decision-making, as you may not have all the information that is available to ensure that all aspects of the situation are considered. Well, that's kind of true with Jupiter's inflation. This may involve a sibling younger than you as well, which is the third house. And this may be travel opportunities connected to a sibling, one younger, or some health news connected to the word medical or hospital about a sibling, one younger as well. These are all the ways it might play out, but it's impacting you to bring you into the thick of a decision or an action that must be taken at this time regarding those themes that I just mentioned. Wait. How do I get out of that? I don't want to share the window. Cancel. Am I sharing anything? I need to grab a bit of chocolate or food because I'm really, really hungry. Give me 5 seconds. Oh, I managed to get myself a little bit of a chocolate break. Thank God. And let's get going on to the next sign. And it is going to be next Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. And why do I have 2 participants in my room? Somebody came into my waiting room. Hang on, let me see what's going on over there. So then the thing you need to pay attention to, or should pay attention to, if you're a Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, is against the backdrop of your South Node Venus story this week. And that can feel a little bit hard, but that gets more intense later on. I'm not going to talk about it yet. You're going to notice that Jupiter and Mercury may be trying to bring you a golden opportunity. And Virgo, it may be about friendship. It may be about a dream come true. It may be something to do with your work and your profits from your work. But if all of that said, that's where Jupiter sits this week. It's also connected to your career directly, because that's where Jupiter and Mercury came together in June of 24 and then again in June of 25. And the story will finally close down next August. And so some of you, like my daughter, got her first job out of university under the first June of 24 conjunction in her 10th house, right? She's a Virgo. What has happened to you to help you reset a button of prosperity and gains and success in your career? That last time, and now this one started in June of 25, finishes in August of 26. Another bump in your career, another way of looking at your career differently. Now, Jupiter, of course, in the 10th house is not in his happy place. He's in its exile. So it could also indicate getting lucky opportunities in your career that you're not really happy about. That's not like really lining up for you. You got the work, but you don't want it maybe. Keep that in mind. Mercury, though, is opening with the money and the resources in the house of your earnings and possessions. There is something that wants to increase financially here. And I love that it's Jupiter supporting that from the house of windfalls, pennies from heaven, and good spirit. With the sun hanging out with Jupiter, hanging out with Mercury, there's a small possibility this could look inheritancy. Jupiter rules the house of legacy wealth and Mercury rules the house of hospitals. A very few of you might come into some money, so to speak. Otherwise, this week, Monday through Saturday, you're opening up the old flower for the first petals that are expanding into how you're going to increase your enjoyment of your work with your prosperity in your work. And this could be a contract, a deal, or a negotiation around terms of work, around bonus checks, around financial gain in the career itself. Some of you might be getting a raise off of this week ahead. These are the kinds of things that might start to open up for you as this week progresses. And if you're self-employed, no matter, you're still under the energy of the benefit to your finances connected to your career gains themselves. Jupiter is strong here in their 11th. He's in his joy. Mercury is dignified, partially dignified in Libra, and he's giving you the deal of a century, or the contractual arrangements, or the conversation, or the career document signing that you need to order to succeed. And that means more money, or more success, or more power, or more something in the career, something you want, a wish. Like, I wish I had the corner office. I wish I had more gains. I wish I made more money. I wish they would give me a raise or promotion. These are things that could happen in the week ahead for some of you. And if you have to make a dietary habit style change, that's kind of the sun rules your addictions, Mercury's information. Jupiter would be a support, like an elder sibling, or a friend, or an ally, or a group that you could belong to, like AA, can be really supportive of addiction recovery and turning points in the next 5 days, or Monday through to Sunday, Saturday. let's go ahead and let's draw a card from the Urban Crow deck, because crows caw. Insight. Okay. So the crow is dipping something into the water there. He's dropping pebbles into the water. Insight. Let's read it. Let's take a look. 26. This is adjunct to the actual astrology, but they often usefully interrelate. Crows and ravens are problem solvers. What problem do you need to solve? Crows make tools and learn from each action. In this illustration, you see the crow dropping rocks into the water. I thought that's what he was doing. He's dropping rocks into the water. After testing a couple of rocks, the crow began to understand the relationship between the stones and the water. Yeah, because you put the stones in, the water rises to drink it. Yeah, it's what do you call it? Archimedes' principle. It learned that with each rock, the water would rise. And as a result, the buoyant shrimp would also rise. Oh, there's shrimp in there. Insight asks you to take time, oh, good Virgos, to examine your life situations and test out different strategies and gain wisdom. When you understand the relationship between all contributing factors, that yield little benefit or remove any obstacles that may, I can read that again. When you understand the relationship between all contributing factors, you will be able to identify actions that yield little benefit or remove any obstacles that may have been in your way, and in turn apply strategies that expedite success. I'm just going to leave you with that, Virgos. You're precision, tactical, Puritan problem solvers. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, I'm going to tell you, it is all about Mercury in your sign, right? But let's go back to the basics. June of 24, June of 2025. Both of those times, Mercury and Jupiter joined together for new golden opportunities in your ninth house. Really good for international success, going back to school, international travel, visas and passport and positivity, winning in legal courses, legal matters, on and on I go. And in that regard, those blessings have been planted, June of 24. And now here we go. My daughter's guy is a Libra, and he got an Australian international company hiring him in the last one, and now he's got an international US company hiring him. So this is the kind of thing that could be international companies you could work for, and great luck there too, okay, as well. Now, Jupiter could bring you a grandchild for Libras who are old enough to have grandchildren. Jupiter and Mercury could be news of a grandchild during the next year through to August. That's the seed that was planted. But what's actually happening now is Jupiter's expanding your career success, planting golden opportunities and seeds of golden success up here. They'll even get better next year, midsummer to summer of next year, July of 27. And so this is a year for you to expand, to teach or grow your influence, your reputation, to be more leaderful, for you to really take up a lot of space in the career space. Then the bosses love you, and the public can even love you with Jupiter up here. Like, it's a good spot. And as that transit is occurring, you also have this week ahead, Monday through to the weekend, we got Mercury, and that's you. You're communicating, you're ideating, you're thinking. You're taking the lead in a way, because it's your ideas, it's your communications, it's your emails that are under the energy field of what's going on. And, excuse me while I swallow. With the sun ruling your 11th house of windfalls, pennies from heaven, and great career gains, sitting with Mercury, you're making some deals or negotiations you're angling for, you're speaking to, you're arranging, you're negotiating for your own success. So it's up to you to take the moves, to write the emails, to pick up the phone, to talk to the boss, do whatever you need to do. This is your week. Proactive, guys, proactive career success, increasing your career gains as you take the steps needed to get what you need and what you want. And it's just going to pretty well be lucky, but be careful. You don't promise more than you can deliver while you search for that elevated success, because you are the one with the ideas and the speech. And you may say what you need to say to get the thing you want. The job, you say, I can do 80 hours a week, no problem. And then you get the job and you're like, what am I saying? I can't do 80 hours a week. So be careful for that energy. I think sometimes, and Jupiter in the 10th house exalted for you is like, the sky's the limit. And then like you're in the sky and going, I'm tired. I just want to go home and rest in my bed on the ground. This is direction. This is a crow flying in a certain direction. Does that make sense? It sure damn does. Because Jupiter is in the Kendra house. The 10th house is like one of like 1, 4, 7, and 10. It spins the wheel of your destiny and sends you in different directions. Yeah. So Jupiter's trying to direct you. Let's see what you get for the guidance on this. Each evening at around dusk, hundreds of crows fly over my apartment on their way to their evening roost. That's called a murder, by the way, of crows. They are not distracted by the sights and sounds of the city. The crows are focused on moving in one direction. When you know where you are going, it is easier to stay on the path. Direction brings clarity and creates a roadmap for success. And success is the 10th house stuff, worldly success. Direction is a call for you that represents your big goal, the destination that no roadside attraction can lure you away from. No, not with Jupiter in the 10th house. You'll be able to recognize. So when you know exactly where you are going, you will be able to stay focused. You will be able to recognize where an opportunity is nothing more than a tempting diversion for your goal. When you pull the direction card, take time to check to see if you know where you are going. Do you see your path before you? So yeah, it's just be careful because again, Jupiter there can give you like a golden opportunity, but it's like you're biting off more than you can chew. So also be careful there. Think about the long range direction that you want to go in. And yet this could still be a golden opportunity. Okay. So, but don't promise more than you're willing to give, because that's my only concern with that story there. And then we have Scorpio. Yeah. So time out for a sec, back to basics. For 2 years running, June of 2024, June of 25, you keep resetting your chunky money house. This is inheritances, tax rebates, money you share with a spouse, unearned income, royalty checks, maybe money coming from ad revenue. Why? Share the ad revenue with Google, all right, or whatever. Or money you share because of the royalties on your book that you're sharing it with a publisher. So there's shared resources financially. And often this is money that can connect to your in-laws and also to your partner in marriage. This is where the money's coming from. So you're wanting to keep resetting that money story. Bang. This is financing, banking, loans, and mortgage. Reset money, reset money. There you go. My son, Scorpio rising, reset his mortgage and renewed his mortgage during the June 24 to June of 25 story. Yet there's another financial reset here for you Scorpios. This week opens up the opening square. Now, I have to say, Jupiter in the 9th house is like the preacher or the pastor or the fiery rabbi, pounding the sermon out on whatever they do in synagogues. There's some power up there. It's very spiritual with Jupiter, but it's also long distance travel to foreign places, foreign lands, legal situations with bureaucracies, government bureaucracies, visas, passports. Jupiter is in good shape. He's exalted. Will be here till next July. And as he's up there this week, the opening conversation is with Mercury in the house of distant lands and shores. So some of you might be getting some golden opportunities for long distance travel, some successful wins in things to do with legal and court matters, and some turning point positive developments regarding things to do with education. Say you're applying for a school or something, especially one in a distant land or foreign place or far from where you live. This is good educational glow as well. Old enough to have children, and you're going to maybe be looking at the grandchildren's story here. Some good things going on with a grandchild or the announcement you will be a grandchild. In Indian astrology, the father figures can be the 9th house where Jupiter is being beneficent and generous, while the sun, who is always the father figure, is in the house of hospitals with Mercury, the god of news. There is a possibility of some news coming to you regarding a parental or, it can be grandparental, great uncle, some father figure, and some maybe possibilities of a hospitalization. Where's the good part of this? You're going to wonder, well, there's Jupiter's bringing blessings financially. Maybe there's a passing the torch on the finances from one generation to the other that begins to show up anytime Monday through to Friday. Let's go ahead and draw a card and see what we get for you. All right, because chunky money, 8th house, is inheritance money. You just can't pretend that it's not, right? It's one of could be money from your partner's family as well, freedom. Well, there's the crow soaring to the top of the sky with some flowers in its hand. What kind of freedom? Could be money freedom. because Jupiter represents wealth. Okay, let's read it. Freedom brings the message that you do not need to stay where you are. You can change your position. You can rise up and see the world from a different point of view. You have the wings. All you need is the desire and the self-confidence to fly. Freedom brings movement, flexibility, and the ability to expand your horizons. Whether this is for the week ahead, right? Scorpio, whether it's freedom to travel, that's a travel house that's activated by the conjunction. Freedom to travel, freedom to make decisions at work, or freedom to splurge on your favorite meal. When the card appears, you may need to ask yourself questions. In which area of your life would you like to experience freedom? What is your definition of freedom? I love that card for you guys. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, you're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's moving through Cancer. Good for you. So there's a lot of chunky money that could come to you in the next year. Royalty income, ad income, revenue from your spouse, your in-laws, money from inheritances, money from tax rebate situations. You're getting prosperous in this unearned shared resource type money that you share with others in some way. And that's a good thing to consider that's true through till next July. The other thing you might notice though, and it includes inheritances, especially with Saturn down here, some of you may be coming into inheritance from an elder in the family passing away. But this week ahead is really about the Gemini story, which is long-term committed love, legal contracts and agreements, including marriage. And basically, Mercury in his strength in his kingdom joined with Jupiter here. Yeah, June of 24. And by June of 25 said, I'm going to do it again. And then June of 25 to next August, there's another reset in that house. Single Sag is looking for a relationship. Mercury and Jupiter together might try to bounce it into being. Like, let's get you that new relationship. But relationships that are strained because of Jupiter gives you what you need, not what you want, are going to also be potentially ending. And Mercury is the guy who says, let's write up the agreements, the separation agreements. Let's fix it. Let's figure it out. So in this week's sky, okay, this is where the reset button is. Mercury has moved into Libra, the signs of justice, scales of legal matters, right? And Mercury is talking to the Jupiter in the chunky money, but the money you share with a spouse or a business partner. So there is some kind of conversation going on. It could also be money you share with a sibling, one older than you. And there's some kind of conversation, negotiation, and deal making Monday through Saturday, epicenter Wednesday, about that money that's bringing opportunity, but also maybe tension in your sky at the same time. The sun is the ruler of your ninth house of foreign lands and foreign places, and there may be some money connected to foreign people, foreign lands, and foreign shores. So I want you to consider those stories are very critical as well. Now I have two people in my waiting room, and I every year I teach Sky Reader, and some people don't get the time zone, right? Like, I don't know how, because I give you like, it's like Los Angeles, 9 a.m., use Google, use Siri. So let me write a note to say to people, we had a class hours ago. Hey, everyone. Why are you in my waiting room? Why are you here? Okay, hopefully they read it. All right, so moving into the next part of the story. I'm going to pull a card for you, but I want to finish something else. Jupiter here can make you wealthy through your marriage partner, right? Spousal support, alimony, that kind of thing. There could be money coming from this person too, if her relationship's not doing well. But if the relationship's doing well, money you share with your partner is increasing. If you have a partner, okay? If you have a partner. Some good news, like a windfall, a penny from heaven, coming off of the sky as well. And it may involve courts and legal situations and wins and financial gain as well for you. So let's go ahead and stop the share and draw a card from the Crow deck about this opening square this week ahead. And I love this opening square because Mercury is in a house of good spirit, which is often associated with a feeling of a windfall. I don't know why I got nature for you, but you need to ground. And Jupiter is trining your fourth house, a property, land, and real estate. Okay, let's take a look at that card. 32. 32. And we're talking Sag. You're full of fire. Every now and then you get your feet on the ground, guys. Make a clay pot in the kiln, fire and earth. All right. Here we go. I can do this. I can find it. I really can. All right. Is it our connection to nature that fills our spirit and reunites us with the divine energy? It is. No, it's not a question. It says it is. Living in a city full of concrete buildings, it can feel as though Mother Nature resides so very far away, but she is here in the grass that sprouts up in the cracks of our sidewalk, in the overgrown empty lots, and in the birds that mingle with us in the park. All we need to do is look, and we will find that connection. Nature asks you to see the evidence of divine energy that is all around you, regardless of the landscape. When nature appears, it may also indicate that you are long overdue for some outside time. Take this as a clue to go for a walk, head out into the park, and go to the beach. New ideas and inspiration will come through connecting with nature. All I can say is Jupiter is in your 8th house, trining your 4th house of the land and property and real estate land, so maybe it is also an invitation to go inspire yourself with a dose of nature, no matter where you live this week ahead, and get a little grounded. Let's move on to the next sign. So the next sign is, I don't know why I have people in my room. I haven't let them in the room, but they're in the waiting room. It's so weird. One person left. So Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Yeah, well, you're already grounded. You're all made up of earth and you're totally resourceful. It's all hell. And here we have a story of Jupiter moving through your 7th house of good spirit. 7th house of clients, marketplace, public, and your marriage house. Now, and this favors your marriage partner, by the way, till next July, to get rich, to get wealthy, to do really well, to be healthy, all that good stuff. But also, it favors you to find a partner and feel some joy in love and relationships. So keep that in mind. This also brings gurus and teachers to you. So Jupiter's there, will be till next July. But more importantly, Jupiter and Mercury keep merging together back in June of 24 and again in June of 2025 in your Gemini sky, which is your 6th house of work and health and pets and rental properties, where you are blessed as a landlord or a leasee, or getting a pet, or getting a job, or being more healthy. And so this is a reset button times 2. And this this June reset button will last until all the way until next August. And this opening square can bring you some of this good stuff, including a job, through lucky breaks through other people. Right? Someone comes in and offers you something. They're generous. Here's a job. Here's an opportunity. Here's a pet. Here's a rental agreement for you. Take it. We're trying to honor that 6th house, right? The gains of the 6th. It's Jupiter's bringing them through other people, including long-term committed love partners. And Jupiter is flowing this week, Mercury in your 10th house with an opportunity. And it looks like it's a career opportunity because the 10th house is the career and reputation space. So a golden career opportunity can be emerging. You could also get emails, phone calls, and texts from someone in the career space, and, a boss and a colleague that's going to bring you something good. Golden work and career opportunity. Might be surprised, by the way, with Uranus in your 6th house. And the sun is the ruler or the domicile lord of your 8th house of chunky money and shared resources with a spouse or significant person in your life. So there's a lot going on at once. It looks like you could get a severance package, a sign-on bonus, or offers like that coming up this week ahead as well. And given that the sun is the ruler of your 8th house, there's a strong possibility of a bit of money coming to you that you don't directly earn. And it might be feeling like, a little surprising. A debt is repaid, so to speak. Jupiter is in the house of the spouse, the sibling, 3 older than you. And there could be some financial remuneration from a sibling 3 older than you in birth order, making you younger than that person. You might be making some announcements, or announcements are happening about weddings, marriages, wedding proposals, not necessarily even yours, just those themes are in the sky this week, getting invited to a wedding or something. Now, let's go ahead and draw a card for you to see what you're doing with this from the crow's perspective. I got to leave here in 15 minutes, guys, for my foot massage. Let's grab a card for you. and it is teamwork. Okay. It's self-explanatory, work with other people. What does that mean to you? Well, it means to me, you've got Jupiter in the house of other people, expanding people who want to benefit you and want to help you like a team, right? We're going to be of service. We're going to help you out here, do something to help you. So it talks about crows are masters of teamwork. They work together. I didn't know that. They mob. That's mobbing. They work together on a common goal. Like when an intruder or predator enters their territory, they all jump together in orchestrated action. Each member of the group holds an advantageous position of fighting off the threat. If your situation is a bit more complex or you could use an extra hand, teamwork will be the solution to finding your success this week, Capricorns. Call on your team, your family, your friends to assist you when you're facing a challenge. Teamwork strengthens bonds, creates positive memories, reinforces an awareness that you are not alone. And when I think of teamwork, maybe you're going to be invited to work on a team, to be a part of a team, to get a job in which you are a member of a team. Say that word team one more time, right? I'm going to shoot myself. All right. I'm an Aquarius like you. I'm a rising sign. Sun and moon are good too. Listen for all three. See what happens. Okay. So in Gemini, Jupiter and Mercury are resetting a button on June of 2024. That expired on June 8th of 25, but we're still good to go till mid-August next year as we keep trying to find prosperity, expansion, growth, and fortune and good things happening. Okay, we do in the Gemini sky. What is Gemini? Entrepreneurship, creative projects, the use of your natural talents and abilities, your artistic and creative endeavors, fertility and making babies, and your children. And your children are trying to get collateral benefits from your reset buttons, particularly here, your firstborn child. And so there's some good things happening because of you as the parent for them, collateral benefit. Now, I'm an entrepreneur, so this is all about my entrepreneurial business, right? June of 24 to 25, June of 25 to 26. What does Jupiter do? Bites off more than he can chew. And I've done that. I've done that so much. I'm trying to learn how not to take on more than I can handle, to delegate. And Jupiter, this week ahead, is in the house of employees. So possibly for someone like me, I'm finding my perfect, I'm actually talking with an agency who will handle all my social media stuff for me on Tuesday. That's exactly this guy. But is it a golden opportunity for employment for us? So you might want to get a job, golden opportunity to get an employee or employed, golden health opportunity, golden rental property opportunities, golden pet opportunities, Jupiter here. Yet Jupiter's talking to Mercury in the 9th house, and that is interesting. That's foreign people in foreign places, foreign travel, and opportunities connected to work or health. Also, Mercury up here is in kind of like the human resources house, and there may be chances for new jobs for you coming through human resources, headhunters being discovered, or for people in foreign lands and places. Take a look at your emails, phone calls, and texts and look for the foreigner to be a great benefit to you in this week ahead. Mercury can also bring good news around lawsuits and legal matters, and you are going to win. And that's another possibility. And finally, maybe a great opportunity for some professional education opens up for you this week ahead. Golden university, college opportunities connected to work and learning and work. They're interconnected here. If you work as because the sun is up here too, if you have an audience or a marketplace that you're reaching out to, like on social media or somehow, then this is going to increase your success. And if you're book publishing, want an agent for a book, you want to push that stuff into publications, that's also very successful for you this week ahead. But golden opportunities can come up. And are you biting off more than you can chew? Is it going to be too much on your plate? That's a possibility. It doesn't mean you have to say no, by the way, but you might want to think about the quality of your yes, but, yes, and. You're the second sign to get freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Crows love their freedom. Fly and soar. It really is, because I've read it already. Like, how do you define what freedom means to you? And, so you get a job and it's going to pay you a lot of money, but will you be bogged down in your time and no time for yourself? For me, freedom right now is time. I don't have time. I'm working a lot of different angles, and I'm saying I define freedom as free time. How do you define it? Freedom brings the message that you do not need to stay where you are, and you can change your position. You can rise up and see the world from a different vantage point. You have the wings. All you need is desire and confidence to fly. And freedom brings movement, flexibility, and the ability to expand your horizons this week. And I'd say connected to work for many of you. but maybe also rental properties or foreign travel opportunities. Whether it's freedom to travel, freedom to make the decisions at work, or freedom to splurge on your favorite meal, when this card appears, you may, Aquarius, need to ask yourself some questions. In which areas of your life would you like to expand your freedom? And what is your definition of freedom? I think that's the key. Freedom means nothing if you don't define it. For some people, freedom is a lot of money. For other people, freedom is free time. For other people, freedom is perfect health. So literally, because you can't walk because of your health. Freedom is health. Define freedom. All right, Pisces, this is a story for you because Jupiter is the Lord of your sign, first in a lifetime, by the way, flowing through your fifth house and trining the North Node in your sign. Like, this is a glorious, not seen since 1894 story time for you. And against the backdrop of that, Jupiter is in the house of winning money. He's in the house of like literally winning a lottery ticket or gambling and winning. So I want you to know that, but don't go overboard. You are very lucky. Jupiter's in the house of good fortune, and that's so powerful. And as he's here, I want to go back a bit. He was in Gemini, your fourth house of land, property, home, and real estate. He joined with Mercury here back in June of 24, and again in June of 2025, bringing you the opportunity to be prosperous and wealthy through things you do and communicate, write and market and sell from your home base, like a home-based business. But at the same time, property, land, and real estate can be very fortunate for you. Now, Jupiter was in his fall, so it could come through darker stories. My Pisces rising sister and her husband got a property because the dad died and the mom died of her partner. So there's, the fallen, or not fallen, but the exiled Jupiter bringing something good, but not the best always the way you want to get it, right? Like, I got a new home, but it came through the loss of parents, or my in-laws. Yeah. So you got to go think about that a minute. But now Mercury is in his home kingdom. So marketing, selling, communicating, writing, and negotiating property deals should favor you. And you get this luck through till next August still. The opening square says lucky break in the house of good fortune, connected to Mercury in the house of shared resources with a spouse, and refinancing and mortgages and banks and inheritances. So there is a lot going on. To say some of that story looks like that stuff, but with Jupiter in the fifth house, it's just really good luck. And from the house of good fortune in your finances, but maybe also in the money you share with the spouse, maybe from the banking situation, lower interest rates or a better deal, or you have the ability to surprisingly refinance a loan, like consumer debt or something. I would declare bankruptcy under this if you want. I mean, anything you can do to clean up your finances, you're going to be very lucky at how it happens. Now, Jupiter is giving you gains from the fourth. So if you want to sell a house, you're going to get more than you think. The land is worth more. The property is worth more. Anything to do with selling property. The sun rules your rental properties, and you're really lucky renting your property out to the perfect tenant or finding a perfect rental home for yourself. And that will be true for you all week ahead, really. It's a story that's building Monday through to Saturday. And sometimes Mercury in the eighth house, you'll get a notice from your tax department, or a notice from a financial institution, email, phone call, text, but it's going to be positive. Okay. It's going to be good, but you might feel a little bit like, is it too good to be true? I don't think it is, but Jupiter is the ruler of your sign. And so whatever it is, it's going to bring you something positive. I got sacred space for you, all these little eggs in the nest. That's where Jupiter was planting golden eggs. And the last seed planting was June the 8th with Mercury. In the sacred space, it makes me think of your home, which is interesting because this is connected to you being prosperous in and from the home, finding a prosperous new home, whether it's a rental or a sale or a purchase. 43. Sacred space. Maybe your sacred space is your nest, your home, or maybe it's the beach or your favorite path in the woods. Sacred space may be a point also of inner place, a belief you hold dear, an inner space, a place and a belief you hold dear. It's a place that brings comfort and nurtures you, your development. This is your sanctuary. When you receive this card, it's a call to rejuvenate your spirit. It's time to connect with the healing energy of your sacred space. Make time to connect with this space, as it will help you center your energy and recharge your spirit. I would give you an outro if I had time, but I don't have time today, so there is no outro. All I can say is join me on Substack, where a lot of stuff is happening. I'm still trending on the leaderboard, in the bestseller leaderboard for the last week, with the stuff I'm putting out there, getting popular and public appeal by the people who read my stuff. So I'm really happy over there. So come join me. And my Patreon community is another way to get more intimate time with me. The lowest tier, you still get 1 meeting a month with me, and every tier you get more monthly meetings. They're always pretty small group and are really fun. So check out everything I have to offer. I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your week ahead. Take care. And yay. Bye. Now I have to stop it. I don't even know why I'm having trouble.